Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. This is my guest, Dion, and he's a YouTuber creator. He does music, pretty much everything. So, welcome, my guest.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, the first thing I was thinking about, since we both love, music and everything, I was wondering, do you feel that today popularity is needed to distribute music successfully? Because I feel like there are like a lot of talented people that's trying to promote their music, or anything they do, but they can't get it out there because of their lack of views or followers and supporters
Yeah.
versus content creators or massive YouTubers who have this huge following, and then they can just decide to promote music on a whim, or like, let's make a song because I think it's fun, and then they'll have their stuff streaming more so than the person that's been struggling for a while. So do you think that's a thing? Because I feel like it is.
I mean, I can't speak directly to music, but like I can speak like to me and just kind of what I do like as well in terms of like to turn a profit. Like and a lot of that is digital marketing,
Mhm,
whether it's again like being an independent contractor that I've been or running like my own agency
mhm,
or things like to it. So like for me, the biggest thing that I see is just like you gotta even define popularity, in my opinion, because there's a whole lot of people with a whole bunch of followers, and that don't mean that they merch is necessarily gonna move every time they drop something or X,
yeah,
Y, and Z. A lot of people have hollow followers as well. Like there's plenty of people that you and I wouldn't be able to pick out of a lineup in terms of, oh, this guy's got actually a million or so and so's got
mhm,
50 something thousand, but 45,000 of them like really rock with her heavy, or not even that. Like even for me, I don't really have some big social media following, kind of by design too. But I work in digital marketing, so I know how to grow those things,
right.
but or send traffic to them.
Mm,
But for me, like I make a living in terms of actually, I call it flipping clicks. So essentially, a particular, and everybody has to market for themselves one way or another. So whether it be Google ads or Facebook ads or LinkedIn or what's called programmatic that are like that's where you're going to see ad placement on large sites like a ESPN or like a
mhm,
Disney, something like that. So
mhm.
I do the whole gambit like within that. So and I've been doing that for the better part of a decade now too. So I don't know. I think a lot of it in terms of artists just got to figure out how to use the internet. Like, don't worry about the follow. Like, how about however many followers you got right now? What's the percentage of them really fucking with you?
Yeah, that's.
Are the 80 people following you? If you drop something, are 10 of them gonna fuck with you? Oh,
Mhm,
well, yeah. Well, then now you got to look to scale that. Or how can you get, you know what I mean? How can I get 100 people to rock with me for $10 a month? You know what I mean? And look at things like that and kind of scale it upward. So I think like hit the ground running with whatever you have, but like build your best product. But and it sometimes it's hard to even convey this to an artist, but at the
mhm,
end of the day, you got to make bread one way or another. But
mhm,
like find a way to monetize your hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is. Like
mhm.
and that's the silver lining too. Like, when you start to monetize something you got a passion in, you stop having a passion for it. But shoot, a lot of these mainstream artists, I feel like music now is a little bit more fickle because now it's like, hey, you get something popping and now I can make this money all these other places. Travis Scott ain't the only one that's out here selling Big Macs. You know what I mean? Like Jack Harlow got his KFC deal.
Yeah,
Wasn't Sweetie making like some breakfast sandwich? So like
was.
I see Justin Bieber billboards out here. He's got a little deal with, I don't know if it's Tim Hortons or somebody.
Yeah,
Like
Megan Thee
selling
Stallion.
little things. Yeah, so Meg Thee Stallion's another one. Like I think you have to look at, I don't know, like just make dope shit. But
Mhm,
at the end of the day, like find a way to make some bread. Ideally, make bread off of your dope shit and go from there. But I think what I see in terms of music, if you talk about popularity, a
mhm,
lot of these very popular artists only drop music but so often, and you see them in other places, which I think is dope actually. Like What I like is now at least maybe music suffer or is a little more, it's a little harder maybe to find, good artistry that
Yeah.
is popular. But
Hmm.
like that's, but we have the internet at our disposal too. You can't tell me that there isn't dope people still making music. And
Yeah.
if you really want to find good music, go find these people. You know what I mean? So like, but yes, like what's out in the masses, I think is sometimes a little fickle, but I think a lot of that is due to these
Mhm.
individuals find ways to get bread outside of music, you
Right.
know?
Okay, and that came from me and my cousin talking because she wants to be a model. And she was like, she thinks that the people look at people with huger followings, before her or someone with a lower following group. And the same happened with artists like Tori Kelly. She started out on YouTube. And so Justin Bieber's manager had saw her, I guess, before other people that's like equally as talented as her, and I guess it was easier to see her. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they're going off based off talent, which she has a lot of, or the way the audience reacts to them. Like if they're seeing that who's going to make me the most money the
Yeah,
quicker, like quicker. So
sure. Yeah. And then that too. And then if money didn't matter, then that would be a whole nother conversation, but it does. And at the end of the day, like I'm not mad at people finding a way to get it. Like go
mm,
what's fucked up too, we live in a day and age where shit in right in your area. So like the recording artist, what's her name? Gorilla, whatever, she
right.
got that nigga free song that's hot right now. And then the minute Yo Gotti signs her, like
Mm-hmm.
you see, and I hate when it's us too, like, cause you'll see we're beefing out about the shit now. You know what I'm saying? And then we're not beefing out about it, but we're pulling her receipts from 2016 where she said Young Dolph is better than Yo Gotti. Like, well,
Yeah.
be happy that you got to witness something in real time. Like, oh shit, came out with something. Why don't you let that shit motivate you? Then your first instinct be like, let me try to shit on somebody's parade. And if you think that shit finna stop it, you're retarded. Because you know what? You ain't even heard the remix to this song yet. Yo, Gotti about to drop a fire verse on that motherfucker. Like, and I can't wait for it to drop. And now I want like a very mainstream version of like fuck bitch free. Because they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that for the fellas.
For sure. And it's like if
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
what I'm
worried about
saying.
it.
Like, so for me, I love to see that. And you know why you get to see that more often nowadays is because we live in this internet. So you got to get on your hustle though.
Mhm.
That's in me. And I'm also coming from somebody who's figured out a way to make bread on the internet outside of my artistry. And
Mhm.
now I'm letting that funnel and be the catalyst for my artistry. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then I've been able to do it, make bread off of it. Like not in the artistry in essence, but like from working and like training
Mhm.
individuals as well too. And then also like with even my digital marketing savviness, like at some point I'll probably open up my own kind of like, hey, this is a nice little seminar crash course of Google Ads or whatever else. Cause I know that shit well enough to be
A
able
lot
to
of
teach
people
that
need
shit
that.
and then
Mhm.
put people on game as well too. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, who knows? But I
Yeah.
just kind of at least like think of things like that. Like I don't know, this world has shown me, and if anything, this pandemic has showed you, get on your hustle. And what I think is, one way or another, I do think people are adapting more to that. You just got to look at the curve. Like honestly, a very talented artist, I'm sure at times they get frustrated and they see people without talent getting to it, but
Mhm.
these content creators should let you know that let me just get on my fucking hustle because there's a lot of content creators that are really popular that I
Mhm.
think make mediocre shit. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
But they make mediocre shit consistently. And not only that, their work ethic is talent within themselves. Like sometimes we be separating the two things. Fuck that. A work ethic is something that you gotta work at because your talent you still gotta work at too.
Right.
LeBron James still gotta put up jump shots. Steph Curry still is shooting from half court line in practice all
Mhm.
the time for him to make it in the game. But
Exactly.
you think you're just watching the end product, and a lot of people don't realize how that was made. Oh, such and such, or Jake Paul, they got X amount of followers. Yeah, sure, but like the motherfuckers hustle one way or another, and
Mhm.
you can feel some type of way about. And I just point out them two individuals. But
Yeah.
I just know it's because I'm a fight fan and Jake Paul, I give him credit, man. He knocking motherfuckers out.
Is he? Because I was wondering about
It's
that.
out. It is sad because I'm a huge MMA fan too. Not to completely derail the
Oh, you're
conversation.
fine.
You knocked out a legend, man, and I was like, come on, man. I don't want to see it like that. But to that the OG, the legend, Tyron Woodley's credit though, he's somebody who, at least on the outside looking in, or definitely not just on the outside looking in, he understands this social media game too. And you
Mhm.
him got X amount of followers, and that's why he decided to take the second fight on short notice just to get a bag. But I would wonder if you asked him if he knew he'd get knocked out, if he would take the bread, because I don't know if there's enough money you could pay me.
I,
I don't know, just to get knocked out in front of the world of people, because I can scrap one, but I'm a realist to know you can't just hop in a boxing ring with anybody and think shit's sweet. One
yeah,
of these
that's
motherfuckers,
true.
that young boy been training. But I was only bringing up them as examples, is like those are individuals where I don't really know their content or whatever, but I know that I didn't just see you get on in this boxing ring overnight. Like whatever you did, you tapped into your own self-invention and just let that shit run you. And then you figured out we got to give credit to some of these young cats, these younger, the kids younger than us, let's say, because you and I, at least me, I'm 31. And I know that even the generation that's just 24 and 25, they got a different and a better understanding of the internet in terms of how to maneuver through it. I
Mhm.
think you and I are old enough to discern information better in terms of what's real and what's horseshit. But
Mhm.
that's because we grew up without the internet as well. So I can only imagine getting all this type of access day one and to think that I would somehow have the mind that I have now. So,
Yeah.
I think part of that's too. But to bring it back to the conversation, like what's kept me abreast and able to, again, make a living for myself in this digital air space is just the fact that shit, I've been working in the internet, making bread on the internet since 2012 or 13, something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing that I can stress as well too, is just figure out how to, hey, don't get worried about the follower count. If is the follower count you got right now fucking with you,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you've tapped into that, cool, you got something. Like, and now go from there. Like, because if you got 1,000 followers though, if you were to actually put something out, how many of those people are really gonna listen, really gonna purchase or X, Y, and Z, and then scale it up from there? I think you can find yourself making a decent living if you can get 100+ people that genuinely would fuck with you in terms of like actually putting money in your pocket on
Mm-hmm.
on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? You get 100 of those people that again would rock with you to 50 to $100 plus or whatever it is, and then again scale from there. Because I think, and even when you listen to even like big like content creators and stuff like that, they'll tell you like 1,000 true fans. You know what I'm saying? Like get that, and you could find a way to again sustain your own self-invention.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that, at least as an artist, I would look to that. If I can now make my artistry get compensated for, or even if it's just figuring out another lane through this internet space, in my opinion, because that's where you see most things shifting, anyways. And then you can find it. And again, like I work in a great industry to where, like, the minute I do or want to drop something creative, I know how to cut the light switch on just because I work in this advertising game. But that's but I would again just encourage people to hustle, man.
That's right. A lot of people don't see the work ethic. Despite them making like mediocre content, they do grind like
Shit, they
they
make that shit a lot. They dropping shit every day.
they
Type
get
shit.
it every day. They
Yeah.
film the same day. It's a lot, and
Yep.
they
Know
know.
it. Yeah, 5 p.m. Yep, I'm on it. Yeah, I track the traffic. You know what I mean? I know something about like, and that's where like I know for me, I can come in and probably just assist somebody there again from a marketing effort where it's like that. We can take your following or whatever, and hey, let's send some traffic to your shit. One thing I know how to do that is again flip clicks. So I encourage a lot of people too, like maybe that I don't want to just say for artists or whatever, but like in this digital day and age, man, a pandemic should show you what time it is as well too. Like I don't know, not even that I would encourage strictly digital marketing, but I would just say like just in this digital space with whatever it is, and like in a coding background, doing
Mhm.
more web dev type of shit, or again, just getting abreast of how this content even moves or whatever in the first place, or why things are popular, or again, how do you, because now you hear content creators talk about shit that I've been talking about for like the better part of a decade, like clicks and impressions. And
Mhm.
there's bigger than that. There's a click-through rate, there's your conversion rate, there's your bounce rate, there's
Mhm.
all these things, your ad relevance, your landing page quality, your
Mhm.
all these things, you know what I mean? Or again, like if it's pay per click, like how do you know how does bidding work and things like that? Like it's all, you know, it's all part of
Yeah,
the game.
that's
So
definitely where all the revenue and everything is coming from because the internet is such like a huge thing now. I think it's probably going to be the number one industry probably pretty soon, if not
yeah,
already
yeah,
tied with like the beauty industry and everything else. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And that I was just gonna say that's probably one of the things that will always be around, because that to a degree has to be, you know,
mhm.
front facing, you know what I'm saying? Like that beauty industry stuff. And I know how much it costs for y'all to put it together. Shoot, even for us, you're seeing more these barbers now, they just playing arts and crafts and shit. Like sometimes you just gotta let that receded hair, like, bro, they put carpet and shit.
Mhm.
Like, yo, what? Like this man put an entire, but that bitch look crispy though. Like, how did you fade this just like carpet that you put on this man's head? And it just is crispy, man.
I saw those videos. I was like, oh my gosh. And it
You
looks
be seeing
nice.
ads for those.
It
You
looks
be
nice.
seeing ads for those. Yeah, man. People be making ads for that shit. Another one I be seeing is like apparently they like tattooing like hairlines and shit.
I did not know about
They like micro pigmentation. They just trying to give you like, what does a bald fade look like in tattoo form? Like, what? I'm
that.
not about to subject myself to thousands of little tattoos. Come on, son. And then all that sounds good until your old lady's all up against you and she's looking like, I don't feel
Like,
no,
I don't feel
what is this?
I'm done. I know about the tattooing the eyebrows that some women get, but it's kind of
I
like,
heard that actually is legit though. You
I
can
really,
get that to look pretty good.
well,
You
it's
can find
like,
really good tattoo artists for
yeah.
sure.
And it kind of just goes away though after like 3 to 5 years. So it's kind of like temporary slash permanent. But I didn't know about the tattoo, the hairline. So
I know it's like it's called like micro pigmentation. Like they're not just literally tattooed, like, but they're literally like putting you through
mhm.
X amount of little, you know, to
Yeah.
mimic like your follicles or whatever like that. So they probably are like putting like, I mean, shit, gotta be a few thousand something. You
That's
know?
dope though. That's the beauty
But, right?
industry for men and women.
I'm just, I don't know. For me, I'm just waiting for, you know, it's probably gonna take some crazy, you know, you get Elon Musk to, you know, stop building rockets and shit. Make real niggas a hairline. Like that would be dope.
He might hop on that next. Because he
But but yeah, but that's what I was just saying with like the beauty industry though. Like now they playing arts and crafts, getting everything. But they good, you know, again, there's gonna be money in that being something that's gonna make bread both online and offline too. The beauty industry, as we see, like shout out to Rihanna, you
yeah,
know,
I was just
like
gonna
she
say
gets,
she's a
and
huge
that's another example of when's the last time you heard a Rihanna project? Some new shit. No, you know why you know Rihanna? Because one, you got introduced to her on some music shit that was fire, and you
mhm.
know some outside things as well too. But you really know her and why she's ascending to what she is like that Fenty beauty shit.
Yeah, her work ethic, and then even before the Fenty Beauty, she did a lot of endorsements, like what you
I
were
bet.
talking about before.
Yeah.
And she just smart.
Yeah.
Her
Oh,
work
you
ethic.
can tell. You can tell when she talks.
Mhm.
And I hear she seems like somebody who's is about as famous as you can get and who seems like just a
So
solid,
chill.
you know,
Like,
a
yeah, someone
solid
you just talk to.
a real motherfucker. Which I
And
can't imagine at that level what that feels like to try to keep your cool.
yeah, and also with her, like another reason why the beauty thing worked, Fenty Beauty, outside of everyone is just giving loads of money to the beauty industry itself, is because she was like very inclusive and she knows
Mhm.
like our community, our culture needed that. And so now I see a lot of people basically copying off of that now. And like a lot of singers are hopping on that train because they see that's where the money is.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying she's a very intelligent businesswoman
Yeah.
and she's inspiring to me. So yeah, for sure. Um, Another thing I had thought about was I don't know if you heard the people going back and forth about Drake's new album dropping
Mhm.
and how I feel like it got some backlash, but I feel like it only came from the people who love like hip hop is their first genre of choice. And I feel like that's the only reason why it had the backlash it did because everyone else was like, I like it. Like I like it. I like both genres, but I don't know. What's your take on people that's coming in and then wanting to do something else, like not necessarily changing genres, but they want to be a singer first and then they come and want to be an actor later? Like, I don't know. I hear some negative stuff about people like that. I'm like, I don't care. Let them do their thing. They're not just one.
Like, yeah, but you're not, I don't know, like sometimes you just be on to some new shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think people tend to forget that too. Like, especially if you're a creator, like, I'm on
Mhm.
to some other shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know I've been making this shit and this shit been hot and I've been making some bread off this shit. But
Mhm.
shit, I want to make a fucking just some dance shit. I'm out here in Turks and Caicos and shit. I'm not, he ain't even just a Turk. He is buying Turks and Caicos for like a weekend. Like
My
he's
goodness.
on to some, he's living an existence to where, and I'm only gonna shit what on Drake, but for so much, because one, him and like a Steph Curry are definitely leading the light skin movement, you know what I'm saying? For at least for, giving us some credit where credit is due from time to time. 'Cause, we'll get slighted in some other ways. Some ways are very much understandable because some motherfuckers really do be living the light skinned stereotypes, which sometimes Drake obviously could fall in that category from time
Oh,
to time.
yes.
He
Very
be
much.
owning it though, which is funny. But no, like one, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Drake music fan. I'm a fan of what, like, again, you talk about somebody who, that's a motherfucker who I know got some work ethic to him. You did?
Mhm.
Like, and I like, in terms of, I'll never discredit Drake's like artistry because I like him in terms of rapping Drake. I think rapping Drake is up there at a pretty high clip in terms of like being able to give you a nice solid verse in a song like on a regular basis. When he be rapping, it's just he lives in such a hybrid state or whatever like that. Sometimes when I think of like the best rappers today, like Drake sometimes don't always come to mind, like he does, but doesn't, in a sense to where like
When I
I
think
know I know that he tends to at least lean more towards the non-rapping shit. At least even if it's just slightly like, because he'll still drop a quote unquote bar on something more melodic, but I like when he be getting to it. Like my favorite project is probably that If You're Reading This It's Too Late or something like that.
yeah,
Like
that's
he's really just spitting all through that project up.
mhm.
And so I like that one probably above most of the others. I know Take Care is like the true like legendary one, but that's
Mhm.
kind of how I see it in that sense. But I don't know. Like again, to give credit where credit is due, he makes talented. And what I was saying is he's on some other shit. He's not. Sometimes we look at music just in a vacuum here.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot more different sounds and places to where other people are popping outside of the US. So, and again, Drake is experiencing that on a regular basis. The motherfucker's Canadian. We
Yes.
tend to forget that. And if you live in Canada, Canada is so similar to us that they're so different in all the ways that they're not. It's vastly different. Like Canada's immigration policy or just immigration is, I think, a lot more celebrated to a degree to where like those sounds will be like very much impactful. Like there, like you see in terms of Black folks there, like there is a nice influx of people from like the West Indies kind of area, Caribbean sounds and stuff like that. And then you get and again, a much more like, I think, a culturally rich sometimes experience there. Like obviously we got plenty of different cultures here, but we be beefed out and shit, you know what I mean? Rightfully so. And it ain't like Canada's some utopia either. But I think again, like Drake, not just being Canadian, but being that big of an artist, he's making moves around the world. I don't expect Jay-Z to drop a project that's going to sound like the blueprint after everything you've experienced now, especially if you're talking about the things you've experienced. If
Mhm.
your artistry in itself, and it sounds like these songs are just more of like a dance record. I don't know if I'm like a little, intoxicated or something, if I'm on like a nice beach somewhere, I
Yeah.
might turn this shit on. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Drake in that regard.